Hello, my name is Heinz Pahl-Kaupp. I'm originally from Germany and living now in the UK. I've studied architecture, urban design, a bit psychology, sociology, and philosophy. And it takes me about 10 years. After this, we were specialized on ecological design in the area of architecture and urban design. And 1998, I met sacred geometry. So what I'm doing now is eco-architecture based on sacred geometry. And that brings me, this combination is bringing me all around the world in the moment to KL. And the background from my work is also that I grow up, and I'm very happy about this, on a farm. So I have a very based connection to nature, to animals, and to the energies of life. And that is what leads to this point, using sacred geometry, especially in architecture, is to study the sacred geometry I made from 1998 until 2006, and integrated then in all my architecture, art, landscape design, and with art I mean sculpturing, painting, graphics, and so on. And I need this to balance the, I call it brain gym, what we have in architecture. To balance myself, I need to sculpturing as the most important point. And the question she gave me before is how I come to Kuala Lumpur, is that uh, I'm building and planning health centers since 2000, but never in an existing penthouse. So I come here. It was not planned. I was just on a Europe trip, and so I'm here with my backpack and my small computer, and try to lift up the energy of this level where we are just sitting. And to lift up the energy, there are a lot of possibilities during what kind of materials you use, what kind the influence of the construction has, and so on, but also what is worldwide accepted, especially for energizing water, is using the flower of life. The flower of life as symbol for sacred geometry, I extend for a grid for the whole building. And because it's more or less a public building, the radius of this grid will be, or is, I must say, the golden ratio. That means 1.618 meters. And that I use mostly for public buildings. Public buildings means health centers, meditation centers, and mostly I have this combination of meditation and health centers. Yeah, I have worked on a lot of existing buildings, but very less health centers. And you have these energy fields, what I just talked about, you have everywhere. That there is no place on earth where you have no energy field. So we say it's also when you have no building called the genius loci, or the spirit of the place. And everything you work on a place, you have an influence on this spirit of the earth, or this genius loci. You change with everything what you are doing on a building site. And here, what I said, we have this existing space with an existing energy field, what we try to lift up in a positive area because of the negative influences of the main construction, steel in the concrete, elevators, stairs that going up and all concrete around. And this is creating the energy field of the existing building. And then you have different possibilities that you can earth the main construction, or you can use the flower of life, because it's clear all around the world that you can lift up spaces with the usage of the flower of life. Of course, it's also important how to use it. Uh, Copy and paste is not always the best solution. That means when we put a grid on a project like this, everything is based on this grid. That means every line has a relation or a correlation to this grid. And then you can lift up this energy of the building and reduce the influences as much what you find. And of course, for the next step, for what you want to build, it's very important that you use materials that are not destroying your health. And that means it's better to speak now about the best what you can use. For example, is clay plaster, and that is no question. I can explain it from physical meaning, but that is going too deep. But clay plaster using green walls as much as possible, and stabilizing the climate in the rooms with using the right materials and combine it. Also using wood, for example, and to find a stabilization of the climate in the room that is stabilizing also the atmosphere in the room. You understand, when I put in this room only rough boards of wood, when they are only cutted, and you will not see, because we will put something under it, hanging something. This wood, the surface of this room is maybe 34 square meters. When I make this complete with raw wood, we will have about 250 to 500 square meters surface that can take the moisture and give it back. And the same with the clay plaster, it can take the moisture and give it back. It's, they call sometimes it breathing, but it's the wrong term for it. It's not breathing. It's taking, because of the temperature and the moisture, it's taking the moisture, change the temperature, it gives back the moisture. And that means it stabilizes the climate during the day. Because I lived 10 years in Bali, we have in the middle of Bali this situation that the moisture in Ubud, for example, is going up to 98% every evening between 5:30 and 6:30. And when you have the right materials and the right ventilation, then you have no problems with this. That means that even in Bali or here, you can reduce the use of ACs. And that is not only because I get sick of ACs, but it's also a question of energy you use. Every AC needs energy that has to be produced outside, and pollution the air because of the energy that is necessary. Yeah, of course, I try to reduce ACs for the right ventilation, but with the right decision about the surfaces, what kind of materials you use, you can stabilize the climate and stabilize the atmosphere in the rooms. And that is usage of clay plaster as point number one. And that is possible to take a lot of moisture from the air and give it back. That you can use plants to climatize the rooms, that you can use, of course, wood to have this example again. When I put raw wood as construction wood in, it has a surface that is 10 to 20 times bigger than the surface what you use it. That means the effect of stabilizing the climate is very high also. To avoid surfaces like stainless steel and plastic, who takes no moisture. And of course, even natural materials like marble or stone are not taking any kind of moisture. Yeah, and I have to start with a definition for me. The easiest definition of art is to bring together head, hand, and heart. And that leads to my overview idea of art of the heart. And that is uniting my life work as architect, as sculptor, as painter, making graphics for energizing water and buildings. And what I like also very much is to make rubbish art, what the people throw away. I always see something nice we can do with it. For example, it starts with filling jeans with concrete and use it as a food for flowers and making light objects of the package of CDs and things like this. And art of the heart is for me, my life work, what is going in the direction for the next years. I want to teach more about my now 50 years experiences.
So that's like this week, what is art without a heart? Like what you said just now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's close it off with that.
Okay. To answer the question is very simple. When you look to the word heart and you put away art, you have only and that is not enough. It's too less for describing life and for what you have to be here as a human being to be happy. And when you are happy, you can do everything. When you are doing everything and you are not happy, the result is frustrating, is what you can see millions of people who are working and are not happy, getting sick, not only of the building, and produce jobs only for psychological people or psychologists, or what is the English word? And but that is the negative part of this. That is a mirror of not following your heart. And when you're following your heart, you will end in the art. That means in the art of the heart.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But that was improvisation pure what we did today. Yeah, but I like this because otherwise it's too, we say,
it's all about just the
no, it's too much head. You understand? Because what we get just now from the world is maximum 5%. Because you are limited with your, and I talked about me, I am limited to my sense. Every dog can smell better, every eagle can see better, and so on. So we get, in reality, maximums, I say. 5% of what's just happening around us. The rest, 95%, is not, we have no antenna for it, you can say. And but the interesting point is when you leave this head area, when you go to your stomach, when you are open to follow your feelings, accept your emotions. You know how many people does not accept their emotions. Then you get more dimensions of this is what is happening around you. You understand that is to discover more and more of the world when you're not in this prison of thoughts. Okay, I also like Eckhart Tolle.